Guess who's back on the golf ball saga? Yeah, that's right. Me. Yes, unfortunately we're still on this because I'm on a quest to document every part of this horrid community. This won't be the last video either probably, but it will be another big one. So far I've covered the creator of Your Boyfriend and one of her associates, Wicked. Now is the time for another person, including Fuboo's server of absolute perversion. Our next subject is another artist in the Your Boyfriend fandom, Paniiko. Now, Paniiko alongside Wicked is somebody that, existed. I say this because her account on Twitter is now gone. And to be honest, it should stay gone. Why is that? Well, to no one's surprise, Paniiko would participate in the exact deplorable behavior as these people did. Paniiko was known for her work in drawing pedophilia, rape, incest, and of course drawing unconsensual artwork of other people. More specifically, she would draw artwork of people who supported a victim of Wicked's behavior, that being Daoko. She did this with the intent of harassing those who supported Daoko, as well as trying to get a rise out of people. Looking into her Discord server, she would joke about shipping a number of people to have non-consensual intercourse. Oh, look, there's Wicked. How sweet. Hey, maybe you shouldn't, endorse artwork of children's characters being, you know. Yeah, it's no question that Paniiko just doesn't care about consent, at all. You see, Paniiko loved parading around the name of Shadman in her bio. Yeah, the guy who got into major legal trouble because he drew some, some just regular art of actual children. This should come as a surprise to no one, of course. We're talking about the same people who literally flaunt that they're into children being with adults. Anyhow, now that we established that Paniiko should be on an FBI watch list, let's continue. While her Twitter is gone, the document that Deer with the fucking gun gave me contains the crumbs that were fortunately left behind.
Yes?
Despite Paniiko's problematic behavior and her sexualizing of minors, she was not kicked from the Your Boyfriend server when many fans and even moderators voiced their discomfort. Instead, she and Wicked were given special roles in the Your Boyfriend server. When Fuboo/Melissa was personally informed of Paniiko's actions with minors, this is what happened.
So if the Discord doesn't allow any content related to CP/pedophilia, then why is it that Paniiko is allowed to chat in there when there are screenshots of her saying that it's okay to draw CP? In her Twitter profile, she also lists her pronouns as Shadman, which is a clear reference to Shadman, an artist known for drawing pedophilic art. Additionally, she is also following/engaging with a 17-year-old minor on Twitter. She shares NSFW art on her account, which they can see, and they are mutuals.
As far as Paniiko, we reviewed the evidence given and it does not show Paniiko's actions, so there isn't something we can act on. If you can show Paniiko posting Discord content outside of Discord or making threats to community members, there would be evidence of them breaking community rules and we could then take action. We hope this clears things up. Please know, despite how it may be perceived from the outside, that we do not make any decisions based on opinions, relationships, or take sides in an argument. Yeah, that's why you give them special roles in your Discord server. We take what's brought to us and approach it objectively based on the evidence provided and act appropriately. We know this topic is very sensitive and very personal to those involved, but it does not excuse excuse breaking the community rules. You see, guys, literally being into adults with children is not against our community rules. We love our fandom. The Your Boyfriend fandom has some very high standards. You're giving me here with your conversations with her. You're saying, or I guess you gave her a document. That,
yes, I gave her the document.
I'm
that was
detailing hey, I'm guessing Paniiko and Wicked are doing things that are making people uncomfortable.
Yes, and it was input from various members. So various members had sections in that document where they explained their situations that they had with Paniiko and Wicked, which varied from the revenge porn to the harassment and the uncomfortable stuff they were doing in the server that would normally go against the rules, but they let slide.
I see. So yeah, no, I'm looking at this here. It's we do not have a bias for any particular person, but I mean, you have people like Paniiko, essentially making that revenge porn, right? It's very blatant. From what I understand, it was more than just you telling Fuboo about this.
Yep.
And
there was proof and everything in the DMs too. There's proof and everything in the doc as well. There was also I remember specifically I had also talked to Natalie in DMs at one point back when Paniko had first joined the server, and I had mentioned, I was like, hey, do you know this person? Why are they on the server? And this was back when Paniko's name was YBF Shadman. Now that's an automatic red flag. And they had changed their name when they got to the server to Paniko is in your safe space. And Natalie just brushed it aside. She was like, oh, they're just trolling. It's all a joke. It's nothing serious. They don't really condone that stuff. Meanwhile, they're over here drawing Dawn and Peter rape comics and shit. And I'm just sitting here like, why is this a joke? Why is this a joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've realized later that was not a joke.
Okay. Yeah, to no one's surprise, Melissa doesn't give a single fuck because her cavalcade of degeneracy can do no wrong. Keeping in mind what I'm about to discuss is, a little bit of a mess with how it's presented in the document that I was handed. You see, there is, of course, more allegations against these people. Again, as you can tell by now, I'm just getting really sick and tired of this shit. Not from me talking about it necessarily, it's just the fact that this happens so much in this fucking golf ball community that surrounds a character that essentially glorifies abuse. Gee, no wonder. We will dive into, allegations against Paniko. So, to begin this absolute mess, somebody who was assumed to be Lexit, yes, that Lexit, created a burner account to divulge their experience with Paniko, essentially doxing Paniko and claiming that she abused a minor while she was an adult. Because of this, people know who Paniko actually is, and a few days later, the account claiming to be Lexit was deactivated, and Paniko's personal Twitter was locked. Paniko would then descend into an absolute panic. She would start sending out cease and desist letters to people left and right. She would send letters to Amphiria's mom, a person named Inky, and a person named Forrest. Let's talk about Forrest for just a moment. Forrest is a trans dude who had his name legally changed in 2021. Forrest, of course, provided the proof of this name change here in this document. With malicious intent, Paniko acquired Forrest's information, and of course used it to send bullshit cease and desist letters to Forrest's address. What makes this even worse is the fact that Paniko purposefully used Forrest's dead name. Forrest changed his name before he even was a part of the fandom at all. Paniko purposefully did this just to be an asshole about it. As mentioned before, other people were sent cease and desist letters as well, and people started to notice a couple of things about them. I'll go ahead and read this part of the document so you can judge it for yourself. Several people who have received these letters have tried to make calls to the law firm that sent them. The firm never provided them with answers to their questions and even hung up on someone twice after they were put on hold. Monica had even spoken to her legal counsel and had confirmed that it was nothing to worry about and probably fake due to multiple reasons. Handwritten envelopes with no business stamp, not certified mail, no digital or handwritten signature within the doc itself, incorrect legal jargon and opinions inserted into the documents, printed screenshots, and no cover letter printed on letterhead. Not to mention that the letters were all packaged differently, and the envelopes they were sent in were all torn and even taped shut. Yeah, so pretty much these letters were merely sent as Paniko's way of getting people scared, and to prevent anybody from looking into the allegations against her further, because she was obviously absolutely in panic mode about it. Because you see, Paniko was sitting in her corner just scheming like, yeah, they're all gonna be in a lawsuit because I can assure you, those letters are very real. I told you they are playing a dangerous game. Oh yeah, by the way, in this screenshot, Paniko is telling all of this to, at the time, a minor named Parkser. More on him later. There was also allegations of an abusive relationship, as well as a suicide note that allegedly was created by a child that Paniko caused to commit suicide. Now, given the events surrounding this note and Lexit and fucking everything, I don't know the story surrounding this, and I don't think I want to know. All of this is just really fucking disturbing. Of course, these are, again, allegations. It just makes me sick to my stomach. Kinda just talking about it as if it did happen, or it may not have happened, like, I have no idea. I'll go ahead and end this section of the video with a discussion with somebody that Paniiko sent a cease and desist letter to. Very insightful before we move on to the next section.
Now, I should also note that a few of us have gotten the cease and desist letters. I have also gotten a cease and desist letter, but here's the cherry on top. I wasn't in any of the photos in the cease and desist letter, so why did I even get one? I assume it was a scare tactic because I used to be an admin in Fuboo's server. And the way that I assumed they had even got my address was because when I was a mod for Fuboo, when I was an admin for Fuboo would send the admins, she would give us gifts and stuff as like an appreciation for dealing with her or working as an admin of server, because you know with all the stuff going on, it was a hard job. And she at one point was sending us free merch. Like, it would be body pillows, it would be the crane pins, it would be plushies. And for her to do that, she needed our addresses. So we sent her our addresses in DMs, and she sent the stuff. Now, me personally, I had actually made it known a few times that I was uncomfortable with Paniiko and Co. being in the official YB server. So I think she had already had me on high alert, had been on high alert about me. But I gave her my address. I think I had went on vacation at one point around this time, came back, and I still haven't gotten my stuff. So I DM'd her about it. I was like, hey, I haven't gotten my stuff. She said she sent it again. I never got my stuff. Now, the other admins and mods did get their stuff, and they showed the proof of their stuff. So I think that was a tactic to get my address. And then later, as we know, Paniiko and Co. are friends with Fuboo. They got the addresses and emails from there. Because if you do the Patreon, you can actually see people's addresses who subscribe. Not address, you can see their emails who subscribe to you. So that's most likely how they got our emails.
Okay, this one is just, oh geez. I really didn't want to talk about this person, but unfortunately I kinda have to. Parkser is an artist and fursuiter in the Your Boyfriend fandom. One of those people in their teenage years on the internet that has, a lot of attention towards themselves. Now, I'm not gonna get super into the details here. Apparently there's documents detailing Parkser's history with other people, and it's just not very good to read, mainly because number one, Parkser for the majority of the time has been a minor. Parkser has displayed a lot of very troubling history online with manipulation, lying about his age, just all sorts of stuff. As a child, Parkser found his way into the Your Boyfriend fandom and has been egged on by quite the amount of people to just continue being in it. So much in fact that it's kind of scary, and I'll get into why. First off, it's important to point out that while as a minor, Parkser was in the Your Boyfriend server and Fuboo had no problem giving him the $100 patron role, I have no idea how somebody like Parkser would get a $100 patron role. I'm going to assume he was just given it for the shits and giggles. I don't think he actually paid Fuboo $100, but either way, he was in the server, and it was pointed out that he was in the server while as a child. Fuboo claims that no minor shall be let in the server, but she has absolutely zero problem with Parkser being there. Yes, Parkser is an adult now, it doesn't really matter though. What happened is what happened. And now I'll let the document that I was handed do the rest of the work for me. What I'm going to show you should frighten you. So you may have noticed in the edited sections above, I have dropped the formalities, because I'm done being nice to a group of predators hiding in plain sight, as a very big portion of a fandom coddles them. And for what? Because you like the things they draw and write? The reason that this section seems more passionately written than the last ones from the original document is because recently I have discovered that the cycle is starting all over again. This time, it's with Parkser. You may have noticed his name pop up a few times in this document, along with a document made about him specifically linked all the way at the beginning. If you have read the document about him specifically, then you know that his real age is 17, not 19 like his fake ID claims. Parkser is now 18, of course. A screenshot is shown showing that at this point in time, Parkser is 16 years old. This means that Parkser is still a minor until his birthday in September. We already know that Paniiko and her group are aware of this, yet refuse to drop him. Instead, they post art of themselves with his persona, and even go as far as to make grooming jokes with him. I will show these pieces of artwork on screen now. Now, normally I would dismiss this as just Persephone and the rest of them being gross as they usually are, since it's no secret that they are all like this. However, I got curious and I decided to do a bit of digging, which led me coming across Parkser's Instagram account and finding these two pictures. As both descriptions say, these drawings were made by Fuboo as gifts to Parkser. I am unsure if these were commissioned by Parkser, but judging how the descriptions don't mention anything about commissions, I'm going to assume that they are gift drawings. Update 2023. As of right now, Fuboo is continuing to groom Parkser, as he posted a new drawing to his TikTok page from her identical art style to the other two drawings. Not only this, but he posted a video showing his new Peter plushie where Melissa sent him unreleased Your Boyfriend pins along with it. Two little pins that haven't been released to the official store yet. Okay, yeah, just go ahead and make it more obvious, Melissa, because that's totally going to help your already very bad case. Does this sound familiar? It should, because Fuboo did something very similar to James when she was grooming him. Flattery through art seems to be Fuboo's way of beginning to groom minors. The fact that this is so similar to what happened to James is honestly terrifying, especially considering how many people are now involved in Fuboo's community predator ring compared to those who were involved when she did this to James. Not just this, but before he deleted his Twitter account, he mentioned that even Paniiko was mailing him stuff. Plus the fact that she drew his persona for him right after he got caught as her mole. It's his profile picture in this screenshot. So both Paniiko and Fuboo are trying to flatter him with gifts here. Another occurrence of this is when Parkser, out of coincidence, received one of the Your Boyfriend notebooks that had the supposed rare drawing by Fuboo in it. Throwback to the time when I found my Your Boyfriend sketchbook had a drawing that was done by the creator in it. As mentioned earlier in this document, Fuboo has a tendency to allegedly give Paniiko the information to other people if they at one point supported her Patreon. Either Paniiko gave her Parkser's address so she would know to mail him one of these special notebooks, or Fuboo herself was sifting through her patrons to try finding him specifically. Either way, it is not a coincidence that he is suddenly getting spoiled by the creator infamous for grooming a minor until he turned 18. I don't know what's been going on in their Discord servers, but if it's anything like how Fuboo acted towards James, then this is a repeat of the past. This is Fuboo's second attempt at grooming a minor who has lied about his age so that her husband has someone young to sexually abuse, and she can tell her fans that it's all his fault because he lied. The similarities between the two situations are uncanny, and it makes me fear for Parkser's safety, especially considering that he is more than likely in too deep to realize what is happening to him. So let me make this clear right now. This is directed towards you specifically, Melissa. If Parkser turns 18 and you manipulate him into meeting up, moving in with you, and your sex pest of a husband like you did to James, the police already know who you are. Jake has a protection order on his back, which means that he is already on the radar. If something happens to that kid, you won't get away with it as easily as you did with James. If this is your plan and something happens to Parkser, then I won't hesitate to give the police names of every single person affiliated with you as accomplices. You know I can, and you know I will. And speaking of meeting up with Parkser in real life, Melissa did this. Of Parkser meeting with Melissa at a convention.
Oh, okay. This is beautiful. Thank you.
I don't think I have to tell the audience anything else. I'm done here.
Def the golf ball, man.